Welcome back to Southern Extreme TV. I cannot be more excited for you guys to be here hanging out with me today, mainly because of the video that I'm doing and because I got to get something off my chest. I have an addiction. That's right, I do. My addiction is buying guns. It really is. I love researching guns, I love finding new guns, and I love finding gun deals. And that is a big basis behind my video for you guys today. I set out trying to find an over and under shotgun that was budget friendly, that was not gonna break the bank. And what I mean by break the bank, I mean by how much money do I think is feasible for me to pay to get my worth out of an over and under shotgun. I don't shoot a lot of shotguns. I don't go and I don't shoot a lot of trap. I don't go bird hunt or quail hunt, dove hunt. I don't do that a lot. I'm a rifle guy. I love shooting long distance, but I love the over and under shotgun because I think they're absolutely beautiful, and I think it's just an awesome gun to have in your collection. The problem that I was finding was that a very low-end over and under shotgun was starting out at like $450, $500, and then, as many of you guys know, the sky's the limit as to what you want to pay for an over and under shotgun. $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, it doesn't really matter. You can pay whatever you want to pay for them and get whatever you want to get. But my goal was to find the absolute best budgeted over and under 12 gauge shotgun on the market. And not only did I find it, but I found one that is what I believe to be pretty dang cool and to be a lot different than the other ones that are on the market. What I'm talking about is the Hatfield, I think it's called a Field. It's the Hatfield Field over and under shotgun. Now, a lot of you guys are probably looking at this thing like, oh my gosh, look at the coloration on it. That's right, guys. It's not your typical silver plated with your blued barrel. No, this is a burnt bronze finish. And it is just absolutely gorgeous. This is real wood, so this is not the fake wood that some of your other low-end over and under shotguns will try to put on there. This is actually hand-carved wood. It's got, well, I'm sure a machine does the work, but it's got all these checkers on here that a lot of your fancier guns would have and your higher price guns would have. It's got some markings right here. Just an absolutely gorgeous gun. It's made by a company called Hatfield. Got the nice glowing bead on the front. Has a barrel selector, which is probably a must in my opinion on an over and under shotgun, because you're gonna have some guys that want your bottom barrel to shoot first, some guys that want their upper barrel to shoot first. For me, I like the lower barrel to shoot first and then my upper barrel. Gorgeous, gorgeous gun. Now, what separates this gun from all the other ones? Number one, it's made by a company called Hatfield. And there's a good chance you've never heard of this company, or if you have heard about them, you've heard nothing but bad things about them. And here's why. Because they made a line of single barrel shotguns for Walmart. And I know, I'm just not, I cannot bring myself to buy a gun from Walmart and try to convince myself that it's going to be quality. I just can't do it. I actually do believe that manufacturers do make a different line of firearms specifically for Walmart versus what you would get at Bass Pro or somewhere else. That's just my personal belief on it. So, I did some research. Hard to find a lot about the company Hatfield, but it turns out that this company actually makes a lot of other shotguns for a lot of other companies and just stamps their name on it, which I find is pretty cool, because some of the name brands that are out there that they make are some high-end shotguns that a lot of people will take to the grave with them. And it's just, it's an awesome company from what I can tell. The only bad thing is there's not a lot of reviews on them. Some of the reviews that you do get are negative, but it's mainly on this flimsy looking single barrel, single shot shotgun that people paid $89 for at Walmart. And I mean, what were you expecting that you were going to get, in my opinion? But that's off topic. We are talking about this gun today. They make this gun in 4 different models. They make it in a 12 gauge, and they also make it in a 410. They do not make it in a 20 gauge, which I think is kind of unfortunate, because I know a lot of you guys are going to want a 20 gauge versus a 12 gauge. And to be honest with you, I was going to look for a 20 gauge, but looking for a universal over and under shotgun that can do it all, a 12 gauge is a good round to go with, especially in an over and under shotgun. You can do a lot of things with it, and that's just it just luck of the draw. That's what happened. So the 4 models, they make this one here, which is the 12 gauge over and under with the burnt bronze finish on there. Now they also make a 12 gauge over and under with the exact same wood stock on it, and it has more of your traditional style look. It's got your chrome, you know, right in here where this this pheasant is, and or quail. I don't know. I'm not big on my birds, to be honest with you guys. I think that's a pheasant. So it's got your chrome here, and then it's got your standard blue barrel out the front. And you can either get the burnt bronze, or you can get, I'm just gonna call it the traditional. You get the traditional style look from them. Okay, so there's 2 models there. The other models that they make is in a 410, and it's the exact same setup. You can get a 410 in the burnt bronze, or you can get a 410 in the traditional look. So obviously, judging between a 410 and a 12 gauge, I'm gonna go with the 12 gauge unless I'm just gonna get a 410 to maybe rabbit hunt with or squirrel hunt with, which I don't squirrel hunt with a shotgun. I squirrel hunt with the 22, so I had no real purpose to get a 410 other than to add one to my collection. But I wanted to get something that I would be able to use, and use a lot of if I wanted to. So I went with the 12 gauge, and this bad boy ran $340. Now, I did not buy this gun from Hatfield themselves. I did not go to the Hatfield's gun website and order it from there, even though you can do that if you want. I did not order it from them. I ordered it from cheaperthandirt.com. They have, excuse me, a lot of times they will do free shipping on their guns. I think the majority of their guns are free shipping, and they charge a $10 handling fee, which is probably the shipping fee. They just worded it something different so that people wouldn't freak out because you're having to pay for shipping. So anyways, $10 handling fee. They usually don't charge any sales tax unless, I think if you're from the state that Cheaper Than Dirt is owned by. I'm not sure how all that law and stuff works, but I know I didn't pay sales tax and I didn't pay shipping. I paid a $10 handling fee. So after everything was said and done and it got to my FFL dealer, I had $350 out the door for this gun, this over and under shotgun. Now obviously, depending on how well you know your local FFL dealers, that depends on how much your transfer fee is going to be. Some people, if you've got a best friend that owns a place, you can get it for free, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, whatever the amount may be. Everybody's going to pay different for their transfer fee, but that's per individual. That has nothing to do on the price of this actual shotgun here. So the next thing on this shotgun, how well does it work? Have you used it? Have I shot it? What all have I done with it? So the first thing I'm going to tell you is I've actually used it quite a bit. And one of the big reasons why I bought this is the company that I work for, we actually sponsored a fundraiser for a local college, and it was a big skeet shooting event. So we got to be on teams of 4, and you go out and you shoot 100 to 150 clays during the day. And this is the gun that I took, actually. Had never shot it before other than just a couple of times straight out of the box to make sure that it actually went bang. And took it up there and shot. And I actually shot really well for myself. I am not the best shooter of things moving. I like things to be sitting still and pretty and shoot them a long ways away. That's what I enjoy doing. But I did shoot really well with this gun, a lot better than what I thought I was going to shoot. Not one time out of probably 125 rounds did the gun malfunction, have a misfire, have a failure to pull out, anything like that. So there's no flaws. The gun is beautiful. All right, let me rephrase that. There was no flaws in the field while I was using it. The gun is absolutely beautiful, in my opinion. If you don't really like that traditional look, it is beautiful. If you like the traditional look, they've got one for you. Now, I know you guys are going to say, oh, well, this cheap of an over and under, there's got to be something about it that you don't like. You know, you're saying it's cheap, you're saying it looks good, you're saying you never had anything mess up on it. What are the negatives? I will give you some negatives, and they're few. First negative, the gun does kick. It does have a little bite to it. And what I mean by that is, obviously, since it's an over and under shotgun, you're not gonna have the inertia driven system like you would have on like a Stoger or some of your other semi-automatic shotguns. So you don't have any moving parts to absorb the shock of that gun going off. Whenever you close it and you pull the trigger, the entire force is being driven into this stock, which is connected, obviously planted onto your shoulder. So you're taking the full amount of that recoil. So that is the one negative. It does bite a little bit. Do I think that it is overbearing? Absolutely not. Would I go back and buy the gun again? Yes, absolutely. Do I think that the kick would be too much for maybe a 12-year-old? Maybe, maybe not. It just depends on your 12-year-old, I guess. I've never seen a young guy shoot one of these guns, so the only person that I have to base it off of is myself. So it does kick a little bit. I don't know where you draw the line of who does it kick too much for. That I don't know. That's an opinionated question, so I don't even know how to start that. So anyway, it does kick a little bit. We've discussed that. That's done and over with. So we know it kicks, we know it's pretty, we know it's cheap, we know it functions good. What is the other negative about this gun? The other negative, if some of you guys are diehard over and unders, do not rip me a new one if I use any of my terminology wrong, but this gun does not have ejectors, it has extractors. Now, for those of you guys that are on the same playing field as I am, the difference between the two is an ejector. After you pull the trigger, bang, bang, and you go to break your gun down to retrieve your empty shotgun casings, an ejector, when it breaks down, will shoot your two shells out. So you don't have to pull them out. So as soon as you break it down, it'll automatically eject the two empty holes that you have inside here, or the two empty shells. Now this gun does not have that. This gun has extractors. And what that means is after you shoot, so bang bang, and you break it down, you have this little bitty piece right here. Hopefully you guys can see that little piece. And what that does is it lifts the two shells out so that you can then grab each individual one and throw them away. So you can take that how you want. You can take that as a negative, or you might want to take it as a positive. Maybe you are going and shooting a bunch of skeet or something. And this is what I noticed when I went, and this was the first time I went to a big skeet shoot when I took this. So I was kind of absorbing everything and taking in, you know, everything that I could. With the ejectors, whenever you went down, unless you were just dang good and could catch them, bang, like Spider-Man or something, you would either have to take the time to make sure your gun was over a trash can or over an area where you could kind of corral your shells. However, with mine, every time I shot, I was able to break it down, pick a shell out, throw it in the trash, pick my other one out, throw it in the trash, and I was done and over with. Some of the other guys that I seen that had ejectors, they were shooting them out across all over the place. And they would have to go around, pick them up off the ground, bend down, pick it up, put it in the trash. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal. And it probably wouldn't be that big of a deal if, say, you are in a big field out west and you are running bird dogs for quail, pheasant, grouse, whatever that may be. Maybe you don't want to have to take the time to break your gun, pull the shells out, and put new ones in. Maybe you need to reload really, really fast, and what you need is a gun that when you break it down, it shoots them out, and the only thing you're worried about is putting new live rounds in your shotgun. That I completely understand. So that would be one of the negatives that I would say. So far we've got the two negatives. We've got it kicks a little bit, and it has an extractor, not an ejector. So take that for what you want. If you call it a negative, it's a negative. If you call it a positive, it might be a positive. It's completely up to you. Let's go into the third thing. The third negative that I've got about this gun is out of the box, she was tight. And what I mean by tight is you can kind of see that I'm not having too much of a problem breaking this down and putting it back together because I've been working on it. And when I mean working on it, I mean absolutely greasing and oiling and rubbing and working everything to try to get it to where it's at now. And actually, let me show you a little bit right here. And you've probably already seen this. Some of this white stuff that you see right in here is white lithium grease. Because when I took the gun apart, I was actually having issues right in here. And you can see right here where it goes back and forth. Right there is really tight, or it was really tight. So I was actually, every time I would shoot, bang, bang, and I would break the gun down, I would have to almost brace myself to cock this thing down and then pull my shells out. And that is way too hard in my opinion. And I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, well, it's a shotgun. It's meant to be used and broke in, and eventually it's gonna break in. Absolutely, I 100% agree with you, but still, I know what a shotgun, not per se an over and under feels like, but I know what a shotgun is supposed to do to be broke in and how it should feel out of the box. And I understand it being a little stiff to kind of compensate for that break in and wear down period, but where this gun was at out of the box was incredibly too tight, and it was not okay with me. So out of all of the negatives, or the three, when I say all the negatives, out of the three negatives that I talked to you about right there, that one was the worst one. And the reason being is because I actually had to take the time to work on the gun. So I actually had to disassemble it, take a really fine piece of, not really sandpaper, but just a really fine piece of cloth that had some grit to it, and kind of rub those edges and rub those machine cuts to try to make it fit and just operate a little more smooth. And it just took time out of my day. It took time out of my life to do that. And I paid somebody what I thought was paying somebody to go ahead and do that before I ever got the gun. But it's okay. Looking back on it now, I got the gun exactly how I like it. It's still a little stiff, which is okay. It doesn't really fall down. Falls down just a little bit, and then I can easily break it down the rest of the way to get my shells out. So I've got it exactly how I want it right now. And the only reason that it's exactly how I want it right now is because it came too tight. So some of you guys might see that as a positive. Other guys might see that as a negative. A lot of guys say, I want to pull it out of the box and it be just exactly how I want. And I'm one of those guys. I don't want to have to fiddle fart around with a bunch of stuff when I get it out of the box. I kind of want it to be ready to go whenever I get my hands on it. So, looks good, it's cheap, functions. I guarantee you probably don't have anything in your gun safe that looks like this. Kicks a little bit, opinionated question, I guess. Has an extractor, not an ejector. Depends on who you're talking to as if that's a positive or a negative. And it was tight out of the box. Again, depending on who you're talking to, that could be considered a positive or a negative. So I guess really and truly, depending on who you talk to, this gun could either have all positive, no negatives, or it could be all positive with 3 negatives, 2 negatives, or 1 negative. My personal opinion as of now, that I have this gun broke in, it's where I need it to be, it operates how I want it to operate, and I'm used to it, there is no negatives about this gun. If I would go back and had the choice to buy this gun again versus maybe a TriStar or a Stoger or a Franchi, however you want to pronounce it, I would go back with this gun hands down 10 out of 10 times, because it is different, it is cheaper, and it does the exact same thing that the other ones do, and that is go bang. So I'm gonna shut up talking about it. I want you guys to actually see me shoot the gun, because obviously I want you guys to see the recoil of it. I'm not a big guy, probably 185, 190 pounds. So 5'10", 5'9", somewhere in that ballpark. So I want you guys to kind of take a look and see what the recoil is on it, and let you guys try to take, I guess, an opinionated look at it and see for yourself how this gun operates. So let's shoot this bad boy. All right, so the first thing, this is what it looks like when it's open. You can see how you have a little lip of your shotgun shell. So that makes it easy for you to grab after you shoot. Now this is both live rounds, so I just want to show you that, and I will show you what it looks like after I shoot both. So gun is hot. Does have a safety. That's the next thing I want to show you guys. Safety is like a normal safety. Push it forward, that's on fire. Pull it back, that's on safe. So let's go right up here. You guys ready? I'm ready. Awesome. Back on safety. Show you guys what this looks like after you shoot. Break it down. Watch real close. Boom. Snap. That snap is your firing pin setting back and your extractor being all the way out. So now I can grab my empty hull, empty shell, whatever you want to call it, and I'm clear to go ahead and put 2 more rounds in. Perfect. Beautiful, beautiful gun. So hopefully you guys got a nice look at everything there is to know about this shotgun. The main reason that I want to do this review and try to get as detailed as possible is because when I was looking, number one, for a nice budget over and under shotgun, there was no videos out there on this type of shotgun. You have a lot of reviews on some of the TriStars, and you will see a lot of reviews on the Hatfield single barrel shotguns. Like I said, the cheap crappy ones from Walmart, but you don't see any of their over and under field. Let me show you right there. And it has the Hatfield. It is the Hatfield name brand field edition of their shotguns. So absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous gun. I love shooting this thing. It is an awesome piece to take out of the gun cabinet and kick up a conversation with other people about. A lot of your guys that are going to be your diehard traditional guys, they might think it's a little different and they might not really think it's their cup of tea. But if you like different guns like I do, and you just like add into your gun collection like I obviously do, take a look at the Hatfield over and under 12 gauge or 410 shotgun. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. As always, if you like what I'm doing here at Southern Extreme TV, make sure you hit the subscribe button. It's getting ready to pop up here in the top left corner at the end of the video. As always, it means the absolute world to me that you guys will take the time out of your busy day to hang out with me here on my channel and watch what I've got going on. So until next time, I'll be sure to bring you guys along for any and all of my upcoming adventures or gun reviews. So make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.